Now you can think about multiple things happening during an animation. For example, I might want to get to this point on my animation and then actually fade in a completely different image. So at this point on the timeline, I may want this image to be overwritten by another image. What I can do is add another image in from my assets. I'm going to drag it from my asset folder over top of my current image so it will displace it. So now I've got another image over top of my original. You can still just about see my other one in the background, but of course I need to trim this topmost image. Now to trim any item on a layer, you move your cursor to the far left hand side, mouse down and drag, and you can literally tell the layer where you want your image to be visible. So we're going to think about how we can actually transition from the background image to the foreground image. The image I've just brought in is not quite large enough to cover the area, so I want to change its scaling. I've got the image selected here in the layers area. I'm going to drop down my transform controls and I'm going to scale it globally. Now if you do not use the animation features, any changes you make here will scale the image globally, in other words across the whole length that it exists on the timeline. So now when I play my composition, I'll have the one image zoom in. I've then got the next image, which is static. What I want to do is to fade that image in from its beginning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my playhead to the beginning of this image. I'm going to use the opacity feature to blend these two images together. I'm going to click on the opacity stopwatch. That sets the keyframe. Now at the moment that is visible at 100%. I'm going to bring the opacity down to 0. So it hides that image completely. I'm then going to move my CTI to a new location. So where do I want this image to be visible? I'm then going to bring back up the opacity so that now I have created two anchor points that literally will blend one image into another. So I've got the first part of my animation scaling. It will then stop and then the other image will fade in over top.